Welcome to Above Par. I'm your host, Kathy Hartwood. I show you how to take more of your talent to the golf course without practicing harder, taking more lessons, or buying new equipment. I show you how to end the frustration of underperforming so you can start playing to your potential. This is where you are going to learn how to think above par so you can play below par. Let's get to it. Hello, my golf friend. Welcome back to Think Above Par. I am super happy that you're here and listening again and sharing the podcast and reaching out to me and giving me all the wins that you've had by listening to some of these episodes and putting them into use out on the golf course. I ran into just recently a listener, Jeff, who I ended up having lunch with. My husband teaches golf, and so I was going out to meet my husband for lunch, and his student, Jeff, met us. And I was ordering a salad, and typically this salad has been on the member account. And the lady said, we've changed up the whole menu and we've cleaned out all the history. So you have to tell me what you want. So now I'm trying to remember and recreating what the salad is that I like at the club. It's not that complicated, but they changed the whole board. So I can't even find what my options are very clearly. And I felt like I was taking a lot of time, and I kept adding things as I walked away. And Jeff said to me, he goes, "This is about golf decisions. You should do a podcast on, is it a 7-iron or is it an 8-iron, and making decisions?" Because you got the sense that I was very indecisive about what I wanted on my salad. And I said, this is a great idea. So Jeff, this is for you about making golf decisions. And it's not about salads and the toppings that we want on our salads, but it's about those moments where we stand over the golf ball and we're unsure if it's a 7-iron or an 8-iron, as was his example. Right? And that hesitation that we have in those moments when we're questioning our decision creates doubt, right? Which is a confidence killer. We stand over the ball with doubt. And a lot of times when we have doubt, this is where we end up steering it down the fairway, guiding it might be another term that people use. Over short game shots, it might be deceleration, quitting on a shot, right? There's a little extra tension in our swing when we have that doubt. So today I want to just talk about how indecision hurts your game and how building the skill of decisiveness can shift everything on and off the golf course. So really what it boils down to is it's not a club choice problem that you have on the golf course. It's a self-trust problem. This is why decisions feel so hard. It's because most golfers fear making the wrong decision because they'll beat themselves up afterwards, right? If I pick the wrong club, I'm going to beat the crap out of myself for picking the wrong club. So now I sit there in indecision, which is basically a decision, just a lousy one. I stand over the shot very hesitant and full of doubt, unsure, not confident, because I haven't committed or decided on the club that I want to use. And what happens is indecision becomes a habit of second guessing yourself and overanalyzing or seeking certainty or looking for validation from other people. Like, do you think it's a 7-iron? I need you to tell me so that I can have the certainty and confidence in myself because I don't trust myself. I don't believe in myself. And this is where I talk about using the tool of being a caddy versus a player, meaning that we have two roles that you play on the golf course. You're a caddy and you're a player. So your first role is to be the caddy to yourself, assuming you don't have a caddy. And we have to assume that even if you did have a caddy, that the caddy was skilled enough and you trusted them enough to make these decisions. You're ultimately the caddy. So the caddy is collecting the data. It's X number of yards, checking out your lie. The wind is blowing this direction. This is where the pin is, collecting all the data. And then you make a decision. It's a 7-iron or it's an 8-iron. And then you turn it over to the player part of you. And you're like, okay, now put a good swing on it. That's what the caddy would say to you. You have to play this role in yourself. I go into this in much more detail in a lot of my programs about one of the tools of being a caddy versus a player. And if you're not very good at making decisions, you want to build up that caddy part of you, that caddy role. You don't want to stand over the golf ball still making decisions. You want to stand over the golf ball being a player. You don't want to stand over the golf ball going, I don't know. Which way is the wind blowing? I don't know. Is it a 7-iron or an 8-iron? Because you're going to pull the trigger from doubt. You're uncertain. That is not one of the 3 C's. Because confidence doesn't come before the decision. It comes after the decision. It comes in how you treat yourself for the decision. Because if you're going to go out and make a decision and you say, okay, I think it's a 7-iron and it was an 8-iron and you hit it over the green and you beat the crap out of yourself, you are going to be afraid to make another decision because you're going to give yourself a whooping. Confidence comes as I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to have my own back either way that it worked out. Because in golf, really often we're guessing. we're doing a best guess. You might have hard data that it's 132 yards. The wind is a variable. It's rarely consistent every single second while you're hitting. So that's a guess. It's downwind. The wind stopped. Oopsie. Right? So you can make decisions about your club. You can make decisions about what kind of shot you want to hit. You can make decisions about the line of your putt. You can make decisions on what you think the speed of the putt is. But the other variables are out of our control. So when you're standing over the ball and you're indecisive, you're staying stuck in doubt. And the chances of you making a solid swing where you're swinging freely and thinking clearly over that golf ball are not so great. So what gets in the way of making decisions on the golf course is fear of mistakes, fear of making a mistake. Might be worrying about what other people think. It's your caddy, literally your caddy, your playing partner or coach or a friend. It could be past decisions that you've had that you really judged yourself for from picking the wrong club, and you don't want to go through and pick the wrong club again and judge the heck out of yourself. Or you make decisions mean something about who you are. Meaning if you don't make a good decision, you have a story about yourself, or you have a story about yourself and making decisions in general. Like, I'm just not a very good person who makes decisions. Other people have always made decisions for me. And this is stuff that shows up off the golf course, by the way. This is one of the things, side note, total side note, that junior golfers and parent relationships is challenging. That was all bad English, but I'm just going to leave it. Is challenging for them to develop confidence in themselves, because when a parent is consistently making decisions for junior golfers, juniors, just your kid, if you're constantly making decisions for your kid, you put into them a sense of doubt in themselves to be able to make decisions, because they might have to look to you. Was that the right decision? Is this what I should be doing? So then all of a sudden they go out and play golf, and you're not there as a golf parent, let's just say, to make those decisions for them. They have so much self-doubt in themselves because they haven't had the opportunity to make a decision and mess up and have their own back. And making a wrong decision be okay is how we learn. So one of the ways that I want you or encourage you to be more decisive on the golf course is to practice it off the golf course. Practice making fast and firm decisions. Don't let your mind stay in indecision too long. It'll start spinning and worrying, and you won't be taking any action. So get in the habit of making fast decisions, firm decisions, and moving forward. And whatever happened, whether it was right or not right, you have your own back. Off the golf course, this might be like, where you want to go to dinner? I don't know. This is where we're going. End of conversation. Let's go. How much space did you just free up in your brain to go do other things, right? Versus like, I don't know, should we go here? I don't know, should we go there? Where do you think we should go? And you sit there wasting so much time in indecision. Who cares? Go to restaurant A, and if it didn't work out and it wasn't great, go to restaurant B the next time. But when we're so worried about making a decision on what we're going to make it mean either about ourselves or what other people are going to think about the decision, we get stuck and we waste so much time. Waste so much mental energy. All right, so on the course, I want you to really make some strong decisions before you even go out to play. Set intentions for yourself. That's making a decision on what you want to think and what you want to do. Maybe a strategy for the golf course. Do that ahead of time. In the moment over the golf ball, collect your data, pick the club, commit to the swing. One of the things that Rory said, and this is so true, in one of the interviews after the Masters, is he said, I'd rather just stand over a golf ball, even if I didn't know if it was the right decision or not, because we never know. We're partially guessing anyway. I'd rather stand over the ball and commit to the swing, just surrender and swing and let it be the wrong club, than to stand over the ball and swing hesitantly and it being the right club, because I'm going to make a better swing when I just surrender. I know the swing from doubt or hesitancy or fear is not going to be a great swing. So just surrender to the decision that you made, because you're going to hit such a better shot than otherwise. And then after the round, reflect without judgment or shame and ask yourself about your decision-making for the day. Did you decide from fear, or were you trusting yourself? And the trust, my friend, comes from knowing that you're not going to beat the heck out of yourself, that you're going to make a decision and you're going to follow through, that you're going to stand over the shot and commit and swing. You're not going to stand over the shot and have doubt and hit a wonky shot. All right, just remind yourself that you can handle the outcome. All right, my friends, so decision-making is a muscle that you got to use every single day, and it's one of the things that helps you build confidence. Notice those moments that you're questioning yourself. Is it from a fear of making a mistake? Are you worried what other people are going to think? Are you afraid of beating the heck out of yourself? Do you not trust yourself in making decisions? Because golf doesn't require you to make perfect decisions, just committed decisions. All right? Decide to be more decisive. All right, friends, have a beautiful week. And if I can help you or support you, make sure you go to kathyhartwood.com. I'll talk to you next Wednesday. Bye.